Self-diagnosis can be helpful in the beginning of understanding our mental health journey. It is sometimes necessary when there are no options available. When you can finally get affirmation and finally understand why you have the feelings you do, it's hard not to self-diagnose yourself. I definitely don't think it's all black and white, like don't self-diagnose at all whatsoever with a cold. You know, if you believe that you could have symptoms of X disorder and you're like writing down the symptoms to show to a medical professional, that's not a problem. But when it comes to saying, oh, you know, the DSM-5 is BS, which, I mean, we can talk about, it comes down to a medical professional setting down the book and looking at you and your symptoms. If you break your leg, would you go to the doctor or would you look it up on the internet about how to fix it? You can do research online to figure out what could be going on, but truly, these people went to school for this. But what about money? That's fair, absolutely. You know, the healthcare system is ridiculous, but when it comes to sharing that stuff online, on TikTok, giving advice, all conditions are incredibly complex and can't be simply checked off on an online checklist. Self-diagnosis can delay you in seeking help, in which real healing will occur. For some people, self-diagnosis can deter you from getting help, but we live in a world where all of this information is just a click away, and it's even served to us on TikTok. If a majority of the people you follow DID accounts, chances are you will be served that in your For You page. Today we will watch some TikToks and talk about why diagnosing solely off of the internet can actually be more dangerous than you think.
Maybe because you're skinny, and maybe because you're pretty, you're used to getting away with things. But I want you to know that your actions have an effect on others, and I hate you, and you are a horrible person. And you not understanding that you're a horrible person doesn't make you less of a horrible person.
You think I'm pretty?
I don't know about the show specifically, but people are criticizing the use of it on TikTok to romanticize things like BPD, NPD, sadness, depression. However, Bojack is a show full of flawed characters, and the point of it was for Bojack to realize his flaws, where playing the victim is a major theme in the series.
I guess my question is, do you think it's too late for me?
What?
I mean, am I just doomed to be the person that I am? The person in that book? I mean, it's not too late for me, is it? It's not too late. Diane, I need you to tell me that it's not too late.
Bojack,
I need you to tell me that I'm a good person. I know that I can be selfish and narcissistic and self-destructive, but underneath all that, deep down, I'm a good person, and I need you to tell me that I'm good. Diane, tell me, please, Diane, tell me that I'm good. People come up to me, they want my autograph, they want my picture. They think they recognize something in me. And I want to be that person that they think I am, but I'm not. They see a greatness in me and they mistake it for goodness, but I know there's nothing there. As fast as I run, I can't get away from that.
While a lot of people found the show incredibly relatable and educational to help them heal, it could have made other people justify negative actions, which was clearly not the intention of the creators. Self-diagnosis fails to understand comorbidities and symptoms. Borderline personality disorder and bipolar disorder both have risky behaviors, unalive ideations, mood swings, irritability. ADHD and BPD both have impulsivity, interpersonal difficulties, and emotional sensitivity. And trauma versus everything else. Trauma seems to be a label that is put on a lot of things. But it's important to realize that almost every single person in the world will experience being impulsive, irritable, depressed, anxious, have mood swings, lack of motivation and concentration, but it's about the way that it affects your life. Is it debilitating? How much does it impair functioning?
This is how conversations go with people that are against self-diagnosis. Self-diagnosing autism is really bad because those people can spread around misinformation. But you know that professionally diagnosed people can also spread around bad misinformation? Yeah, but they're diagnosed, like we know that they're not faking. You do know that there's a lot of misdiagnoses with professionals with things like OCD, anxiety, BPD. Yeah, but the doctors are educated and these people that are self-diagnosing don't know like anything. You know that most of these people self-diagnosing probably know more about autism than the actual doctors do?
Okay, there's definitely a lot here. If you have a disorder, okay, you are incredibly much less likely to be spreading misinformation because you have these experiences. I mean, I guess I could see it like saying that things that are just your personality you might mistake for being part of your disorder. I feel like it's implied that people will fake autism on TikTok when the reality is that a lot of people genuinely believe they have it.
Like, they spend months and years researching, and some of these doctors don't even know that Asperger's is an outdated term. Yeah, but those people just cause more harm to the actual autistic community. I feel like you potentially invalidating hundreds of autistic people because they're not professionally diagnosed is way more harmful to the autistic community. And even if those people are misinformed, if any of the information that we are giving can help them in any way, I think that's still a win.
Simply finding an explanation on the internet can be cathartic and create access to communities that provide normalization support and validation. However, those communities are unable to provide things such as professional care like medication management and therapy to help you work through your symptoms. We can't dismiss the validity of a self-diagnosis as the only tool to understand present struggles and seek solutions. If mental health care is inaccessible or unaffordable, self-diagnosis can be a necessary and valid option. But overly identifying with a diagnosis on social media often veers into the path of glamorization and or justification. There is a very fine line between understanding something through an appealing lens versus the much more raw and unpleasant reality of what it looks like. Overly identifying with a diagnosis can inadvertently engulf our whole sense of self, leaving us stuck, leading us to the wrong direction with no effective solutions, or prompt no desire for change.
Well, I think they should just go get a diagnosis. You know, there's things like sexism, misogyny, racism, inaccessibility, how expensive it is, that gets in the way of people getting diagnoses.
Yes, absolutely. Doctors need to be doing a better job, and I know that you know yourself better than any doctor could. But the diagnostic process is incredibly complex. It's incredibly nuanced, and it's not just checking off things on a list. Racism, all of these things do exist within the diagnostic process, but that shouldn't deter you from getting diagnosed. You can see different professionals.
Well, if they're not going to get a diagnosis, they just shouldn't say that they're autistic. If every time you ate a certain food and you threw up and you were having a really bad reaction to it every time, would you say to someone that they can't have an intolerance to that food purely because they cannot go to the doctor?
Okay, I mean, sure, but where are you getting all of this information about autism in this case from? Is it resources written by medical professionals or other people on TikTok who believe they have autism as well? And how are you supposed to know the difference? Sometimes self-diagnosis can be like, oh, I'm struggling with these problems, but I deal with it quietly. Which can be at times, but it can also be, I can't work right now because I'm severely disabled. I can't clean my room. I can't go to school. You know what I mean? It is a spectrum. I mean, with every disorder, it's not like every person will experience it the same.
But self-diagnosis is bad. So if they're not diagnosed, they shouldn't be speaking on our community. So you think that people that cannot get access to medical professionals that can diagnose them should go their entire life without talking about the way that their brain is wired differently? Okay.
A lot of people say
people self-diagnosing themselves probably know more about the conditions than doctors do.
So the years of medical school, internships, residency, constant courses to keep up with new developments in the field are all useless compared to your Google search history. Self-diagnosing mental illness can be incredibly dangerous. Without a proper professional diagnosis, there is a chance you're incorrectly diagnosing yourself, which could lead to attempts at recovery that aren't helpful and might cause more harm than good. This could lead to your real condition worsening or becoming more difficult to treat. Self-diagnosing can exacerbate feelings of anxiety and depression, increasing risk for SH, unalive, and dangerous behaviors. One analysis found that almost 83% of mental health videos being shared on TikTok are misleading, with most of them coming from individual experiences rather than verifiable sources. While this certainly increases awareness and destigmatization, it can be a double-edged sword by fueling and perpetuating big amounts of misinformation. Someone diagnosed with ADHD talks about how she joined TikTok and her feed was flooded with ADHD content and it was overwhelming. She understands that social media can open up the conversation around ADHD, but thinks more needs to be done to prevent misinformation spreading. There are criticisms on the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, but it is the leading book in diagnostic criteria created by the American Psychiatric Association for mental health professionals. However, it's not criticism-free, and while it's true that it consistently goes through revisions to update itself with the latest research, disagreements persist in terms of how it classifies things. However, the DSM is just something that's used with within the diagnostic process. Self-diagnosis cannot give you access to treatment, but it can get you started. A good diagnosis is a collaborative project with expertise and lived experiences meeting in the middle. Find a professional who makes you feel heard, understood, and validated, and be open to alternative explanations. Mental health is just like any other science and continues to grow and change as we expand our understanding of it. This means that our current diagnostic criteria gets continuously revised to account for emerging research. So what's true today might not be true tomorrow. Let me know you guys' thoughts on this one and your opinion on self-diagnosis. Your mental health is important and deserves care. Information online is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the bell on if you're feeling risky, and comment below your favorite weather. I'm gonna go with like snow, like lightly snowing or raining for sure. I'm sorry. I know that a lot of people are like, it really bothers your entire like circadian rhythm. Thank you so much to each and every one of my members. I appreciate you so much for the support, and to everyone, have a good day, night, whatever the case may be, and peace out.